Hey guys, it's Walker from the Way Walker Show again, and this is Walker's Weekly Brew. Alright, this is where I go ahead and I review a beer each week. And today we got one, and it is Three Floyds Zombie Dust. This is a American Pale Ale, but they call it the Undead Pale Ale. But let's dive right into it. Let's see what we got, and yeah, well, like I said, we're just gonna dive right in, man. Okay, so right off the bat, I noticed that it's got a very strong head. The body is very nice. The color is amazing. I really like that color on it. It's got like a golden, it's a little hazy, but it's like a golden color to it. If you guys could see that right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say when it comes to this kind of beer, I like this can, by the way. It's a really cool can. I got a zombie on there. When it comes to American Pale Ales or Indian Pale Ales or double IPAs or whatever you want to call it, man, I tend to shy away from them. I like Pale Ales. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good ones out there. But I'm not so much the bitterness guy. I'm not huge into the bitters. But that's fine, you know. But let's just dive into it, and then I'll talk more in a second. First thing I notice, it's got a very piney smell to it. A lot of pine. Yeah, a lot of pine, actually. Okay, very heavy on the pine. There is a little bit of a tropical fruit in there. It's got that bitter that you normally would. But it's funny because it's not as strong as bitters as you would expect from an American Pale Ale. But here's the thing. This thing does have an IBU scale of 62, which, you know, is not terrible for it. Like I said, I'm not a bitters guy, but this ain't too bad. The smell and taste that you get from the pine, especially on that back end, is definitely noticeable. You get a little bit of a grapefruit, orange, tropical kind of taste to it, which is kind of what they were going for, I'm guessing. They lean very heavy on the Citra hops. Am I saying that right? Citra hops? Yeah, so they lean heavy on the Citra hops. Now, hops are an interesting thing when you talk about beer. When you talk about beer and you're talking about hops play two major factors. It's going to play your bitter taste role on it. It's going to give you some of that herbal. It's going to give you some of the fruity. Your yeast plays into that too. But your aroma that you get is very key on it too. So when you're brewing beers, a lot of times brewers will have two different sessions of hops. So you get hops right at the beginning that you're going to brew for the majority of the time, which is going to give your bittering and your bitter flavors and what you want out of your bittering. And then you got ones closer to the end, last 10, 20 minutes. 20 is a little long, but mostly your 10 minutes. And that's where your aromas are really going to come from. Like, oh man, I'm really starting to smell, you know, grapefruit, or I'm really starting to smell pine. And it's crazy when you think about it, because these plants that hops grow on, and if you're from like in the United States, one of the biggest places for hops, and especially for like is it Acadian hops? But anyways, one of the biggest places to get hops in the United States is out in the middle of this place called Yakima, Washington. I think Elkmont. Out there's a lot of hops, and they just play a huge role on the finishing touch of your beer, if I should say. Your yeast and your malts that you use play a big factor into your alcohol and flavor. Hops play a big role into your finish. And so yeah, when it comes to IPAs, they tend to have a little bit more, they tend to focus more on the hops for the bitter. They focus, specifically with this one, they focused around the Citra hops. So I know I said I'm not a big Pale Ale or an IPA guy, but I'm going to judge this fairly. Man, that's a good beer. People go crazy about this. This is one of America's top beers for American Pale Ales, believe it or not. And I can see why, because it's also 6.5 ABV or 6.5% alcohol. I guess people are trying to get a little crazy. 6 is on the higher end. Believe it or not, a lot of beers are more like leaning towards 4 and 5. Once you cross into that threshold of like 5.5 and up, you start getting it. And then of course, you know, like we did a video on Belgian triples, you start to get 10s, and those are party beers, man. I'm not a huge fan of this stuff, so I might be a little biased with this, but, and this is not saying this is a bad beer, but I'm leaning towards giving this like a 78 on. That's my scale. You guys go out, you go try these beers. You tell me, hey, Walker, you're wrong. This beer is amazing. This is a 93 or this. But for me, I'm giving it a 78. It's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. All in all, it is still a solid beer. The aroma that comes off it, I love the aroma off of it. I love the smell of pine, so there you go. Yeah, but all in all, I'm going to give that a, what did I say, 78 originally? Yeah, but guys, I'm Walker from the Way Walker Show. We got other videos. If you're not a beer guy, that is fine. If you're just watching this video because you had nothing else going on, that's cool too. But yeah, go check out our other videos. We got stuff on food. We do a lot of food. We do other drinks. We even have one that's like, what is your best, like, cola? And Dr. Pepper's in there, so me and Wade kind of cheated a little bit because Dr. Pepper is in there. It's not a true cola, but hey. But we did find out what our favorite cola was. So if you're interested in stuff like that, go check us out. And yeah, thank you guys so much.